Everyone, welcome back. This is part 4 of my retro Christmas journal. If you missed the other first 3, make sure you go back and catch them. So I am going to work on, I'm finally going to sew the signatures in. I'm just going to bite the bullet, and if there's anything else I want to add, I'll just add it by hinging it in or something like that. So what I have decided is I am going to use this fabric. I like to do the hidden spine. If you've been around here a while, you know that I like to do the hidden spine. So I'm going to use this fabric. I think that's really cute with the cover fabric. Not a lot of it shows. And then I've decided to use this paper here. And then this will go on top of that. And then we'll have this in there. And I think this is really cute. This is from Rach and Bella, her Nostalgic Noel Christmas kit. So this is 8.5 by 11. So I should be able to cut it in half and use one on the front and one on the back. And I don't put this on until after I've glued my hidden spine in. So this will go over it like that, actually. I thought about using this one as well because look how good her Nostalgic Noel goes with these ornaments. So cute. But I think what I'll do is maybe use this for some tags and other sorts of embellishments. All right, so I'm going to set these aside for a minute, and I'm going to get going on gluing all this together. So what I do is I take some Tyvek and I make the Tyvek the width of the spine, and then I cut a piece of fabric and I have the fabric go over to the front and back cover, usually by about at least a ½ an inch, if not an inch. This looks like about 3/4 of an inch. And then have the height. I cut it a wee bit short than I normally do, but I think that's okay. All right, and then next I am going to glue this onto here. And I like to fold this in half. And the reason I fold this in half is that way when I go to place this onto, or when I go to make my holes for my 3 signatures, I already have the center identified. And then I can also fold this one over. So fold that down to the middle. And then I'll fold this side. I hope everybody is doing well on this beautiful Saturday. It is sunny but cold, so that'll give me a frame of reference for sewing my signatures in. Okay, so I'm trying to decide which side I want to glue to the fabric. Yeah, I think I'll glue this side. I'm going to put, go put this down just to keep my mat a little neat. I am going to a Christmas party tonight, so I'm looking forward to that. I have 2 girlfriends that I went to high school with, and we've been close friends ever since then. But then our friend group has continued to grow. We add new people as like our spouses, friends start to date and get married. Then those girls, women usually join into the group. So it's fun group of girls, and it's gotten pretty big. There's probably like 20 of us now. It's quite large. So some days I miss the the days when it was just a few of us, but it's fun to meet new people and keep things interesting and fun. And I'm just kind of folding that in half just so I can, let's see, so I got to remember to do this right. So I want this to show, so I'm going to glue this onto the back of this. And the other trick I'll tell you here in a minute. I'm going to make sure I get this straight-ish. There we go. And grab my bone folder. This might be overkill for some people, but I really like tie back. I think it's so strong, doesn't tear or rip. And then I like adding the fabric to it because it gives it a really pretty finish. And so the other trick is you need to remember to sew your signatures in on this side so that when you glue it down, the signatures are obviously on the right side. I have done that before where I have poked the holes and started sewing on this side. So then I had to cut it all out and start over again. Now I am going to let this dry for a little bit before I poke the holes in it. And while I'm doing that, I am going to get the signatures ready to sew them in. I'll show you one and then I'll do the other ones off camera because it's pretty easy. And I did add an envelope into these. And I found, I had purchased these on clearance in Hobby Lobby. And so instead of the bright red and bright green, I feel like this muted color goes. So I have this color in, I think, 2 of the signatures. And then I have this color in this one. All right, so if you've seen me do this process, I apologize, but there are quite a few new subscribers, so I thought I would show my process. Everybody's is a little bit different, but essentially the same. All right, so I just use an old book to poke my holes, and then this is my little kit I use. I have my dad's awl, which is nice and sharp, and then I picked these up at Hobby Lobby, but you can get them on Amazon. And I got enough for when I'm doing 3 signatures, I can paper clip them all at the same time, which is nice. And you want to make sure that all your pages are facing the direction that you want them to face, and you get them lined up how you want them. And then I like using the big paper clips because sometimes I'll have small pages, and so the paper clip goes down and kind of holds all the different sizes. In this journal, they're all pretty similar in size, so I don't have to worry about that. And then I don't really do any measuring. I'll start with this signature, and then from there I'll use this one to line up the holes. And I open the book up so I get a nice V. So I think this is a really inexpensive alternative. And put that one there. And one right about there. And then what I do is I use these holes. You can see I got the 3 holes right there. And I use these 3 holes to then identify the holes for the other 2 signatures. And I like to put a little pencil on the top, and you'll see in a minute why. And I'll erase that in a little bit. So I'm going to put paper clips on the other two. Make sure they're all lined up the way I want them. And then what I'll do is I take my pencil and I open up the signature. I line them up, make sure they're lined up, top and bottom. And then I use my pencil mark to then make a little pencil mark in here. And then right here. And that way I know where to poke the hole. And then I can go back and erase the pencil marks here as well. These don't all have to be the same, but it makes it a whole lot easier when you go to sew them into the spine. Yeah, that looks great. And then we'll do the next one. So it goes together pretty quickly. All right, looks like I got everything the way I want it. I appreciate everybody who left comments. Let me know what your all's plans were for Christmas. I love hearing what everybody is planning on doing and what people did over Thanksgiving. Because I had folks share both, and then repeat the process here. Oh, whoops. Getting ahead of myself. So then I go in here, line it up. And then I just double check them. They all look good. Next up is to poke the holes into this, and then we can start sewing. And what I like to do, I like to use my book, because this way I ensure that I get the height correct, because I don't want to accidentally, like I don't want to have the holes be to where my journal is sitting higher than my book cover. That makes sense. And then you want to make sure you got your book the right way. So I have this centered here, and then I make sure I'm going to rotate it because I can get a better angle. So I'm going to make sure that's centered, and then I want to make sure this is centered. And then I'm going to start with the middle one and the middle little crease that I made. I don't know if that shows up on camera. I'll make a pencil mark there. And a pencil mark there. I'm using the little pencil lines that I drew on here. And then I just want to double check it, make sure I got it on the fold right there. Yep, that looks good. Perfect. And the next thing that's really important to do is you want to, because I don't necessarily have these equally spaced out, so I make sure that I write top on the top of this, oh, what is this called? Tyvek? So I write top up here, T-O-P, because that won't be seen. And that way I don't sew the signatures and have the lines all messed up, or have the holes all misaligned. There we go. And then you can either put the other two signatures there, or I also just like to draw a little line and get it all lined up. So we have the lines drawn, and I do like to use a pen actually because I can see the pin better on the tie back. And then I just use that line and draw a little dot so it's easier to read. Oh, I just found out, I'm so excited, that my daughter who's coming in from LA, her boyfriend, he is also going to be able to come in for a few days. So I'm so excited about that. All right, we have that. So we'll just double check, make sure everything looks good there. So yeah, I'm excited to have both of them home for a little bit. And I just made a couple small little adjustments there. And then I just use either the front or back cover of the book to poke the holes. So this book has been through a lot. Go. And then the holes are poked through on this side, and sometimes they can be hard to see, so then I'll just poke the awl through there to make the holes a little more visible. And then I will sew one signature in on camera, and then I'll do the others off camera. So if you've seen it already, you can fast forward through that. So like I said, you want to make sure you have the top at the top. And when you flip it over, the first signature is going to be in this hole here. And then the second signature, third signature. And I am going to start, let's see. I think I'll start with the third signature. I think that works the best for me since I'm left-handed. You just kind of got to figure out what works for you. So this is my third signature, and I use this embroidery needle. There we go. So the hole's not too tiny, but it's big enough where it makes it easy for me to thread it. You know, I'm loving how this journal is coming together. All right, so I want to try to find... So it's hidden, so the thread won't show out here. So that doesn't really matter too much. Let's think about the inside here. I have this pretty color. That could work. I don't know, what color do you call that? I mean, I could just go classic green. I also have this green. I think I'll go with that. Yeah. And so I need to find the end. And I'll do 1, 2, about 3 times the height of the signature. And I'll do the other ones off camera. So this is number 3, signature number 3. And I just do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, obviously. So you have your holes here. So I'm going to start with the one on this side here. And I'll start through the middle. And then I make sure this tail doesn't come through. And then I find the right hole. So it's this one right here. And pull that through. And then I'll go back through the top right here. You can do top or bottom, it doesn't matter. And that through. And then we'll go back down to the bottom. And then we got to find the last hole right here. And I'll show it to you when we get it all done. And then we got to go back up through the middle. And you want to make sure to not split your other thread there. There we go. Let's see. Trying to see if I split the thread. I think I'm okay. Yeah, I think I'm good. Okay, very good. So a couple other tips when you're doing the hidden spine is you don't want to pull too tight, otherwise it gets all twisted like it just was. So you got your thread through. Sorry, I hit the camera. And so this is what it'll look like on this side. So this is what gets glued into the cover. All right. So we got it sewn. You can see it sewn right there. I got, you want to make sure it's tight, but not too tight. And let me show you what I mean. So like if I pull really tight, it'll start to buckle. See how that's, well, it's not really buckling, so that's good. But you'll want it to where it's firm, but where this doesn't bunch up, if that makes sense. And then I just do a double knot. I take these off. Don't need them anymore. And then I'll do another knot. And one more just for good measure. There we go. So then we have it all sewn in. Looks good. So I just then repeat the process with the next two signatures. So I'll do that, and if you want a full tutorial, then just leave a comment down below and let me know. I have all three signatures sewn in, and they all have a nice good tightness. There's no gaps on this side as well. You can see there's no gaps there, no gaps there. So everything looks pretty good. And the spacing looks pretty good between the signatures. Yeah, so that looks all pretty good. If you are right-handed, you might want to start with the first signature and work that way. Since I'm left-handed, it's easier for me to work that way. I have just found over time. And then the next up is we will be sewing this in here. And again, I want to just make sure when I glue this down that the signatures are placed to where there's the same amount of spacing between the top of the signature and the top of the cover, and the bottom of the signature and the bottom of the cover. So hopefully that makes sense. And then I'll glue that in, and then I'll glue this paper over top of the fabric. So this is another secure system to keep the signature in place. And what I do is I start off with gluing in this part first, and then I'll glue the two flaps in. Clean that out of the way. And what I do is I find it easiest to put the glue here, and then I'll put that down. And then I tuck these strings inside because invariably I will glue those to the spine. And then this fabric doesn't go all the way to the top and bottom, so I need to leave about 1/4 of an inch, I think. I don't need to glue all the way up, so I'm going to start right about here. I love how this is coming together. Put a little bit of glue underneath there. Hold that in place. And then I'll leave a little 1/4 inch gap down here. And I like to put a lot of glue because I don't want this coming undone. And then I like to smooth it out so we have good coverage all over the chipboard. I think that looks good. Sometimes these Fabri-Tac are smellier than other times. Do you all ever have that happen to you? You ever notice that? Like my last bottle was not smelly, and this one is really smelly. So you want to make sure you're gluing this in right side up. And I want to get the tie back, the white pieces, lined up and centered onto the spine. I try to not have the white go over onto the front or back cover, if that makes sense. And you want to try to put it in as straight as possible. Sometimes I find it easiest to stand up when I do this. And you have a smidge of wiggle time with Fabri-Tac glue. And I'll kind of eyeball it, see how it looks. From the bottom and the top. So see, they all look evenly spaced. And then same up here. So once I think I'm good with the placement, I then start to really press the tie back into the glue and into the spine. I wasn't planning on doing a full tutorial for that. Well, it's not a full tutorial, but as much as I've been doing. But I have a lot of new subscribers, so some of them might find it helpful. Maybe. But I don't know what it is I love a hidden spine. I mean, I make non-hidden spine journals all the time, but there's something about the hidden spine that I just really like. Yeah, I think that looks good. It lays nice. Yeah, that looks great. Okay. I really find cutting the tie back to the same size as the spine helps in getting all of this lined up correctly. And then the next thing is to glue these front and back flaps down and get that squared away. So I'll use something heavy while I spread glue on the side. And I'm going to let this dry before I add the inside front and back cover. Go. And then just lay this down. No need to stretch or pull it or anything like that. And then I just make sure we get good contact down in the spine there. Yeah, that looks good. And then we'll do this side. press that into the fold there. There we go. Yeah, that looks great. And that looked cute. And then what I like to do is I like to let this all dry flat. I'll just put a couple things here to prop them up. I don't like using my water. It makes me too nervous. Let's see if this is heavy enough. Perfect. And then there. So I will let that dry like that. And then we'll come back and cut this down and glue this on the front and back inside cover. All right, it's been a little bit and I have let all this dry. So it looks like it is in good shape there. So now I am going to glue these two pieces on, and I'm going to mark them with my pencil here. I'm thinking I can probably go halfway. So I'm going to mark it and see where that ends up back here. Yeah, I think that'll be perfect. Okay, so let's cut this. So you'll have to give me your suggestions on what I should do for a journal topper. I really would like your all's input on that. So this is, oh yeah, it is right at 5.5. Right, this is 11. So perfect. And do I want to ink up the edges of these? You know, I think I do. I'm going to ink these up real quick. I've inked up the edges, and now we'll glue this in. You'll also have to come back because I'll be working on my spine dangle, and I have these really cute little charms. Plus I have some other charms in my stash that I'm going to add. Yeah, I think I want that like that. I'm so glad I thought about this Rach and Bella paper for the inside cover, because I went through my fabrics and I just couldn't find one that I absolutely loved, you know. I had a lot of options, but I really like this paper option. And then I'll put some corner protectors on. Make sure that is straight. And I think I'll go with more of a kind of an antique bronze corner protectors as opposed to gold, I think is what I'll do. Perfect. Okay. And if I have to add a little glue, I'll add a little glue. And I might add a pocket. That would be fun to add a little pocket there. All right, we'll do this one. I suppose I could have sewed around this before I glued it in, but I didn't think about that till just now. So that's not going to happen. But we don't have to sew everything. Let's see. Yeah, I think I want... Yeah, I think I want that like that. What do y'all think? Y'all like it? I don't know if I'll come back and add any rickrack along here. I might do that just for fun. So we'll see. But yeah, we got that. Yeah. What do y'all think? Do y'all like that? I love it. Yeah, I might add a little bit of rickrack or a little bit of lace right there. So here is this cutie, and I love how it opens up and lays nice and flat. So I am going to add some corner protectors, and we'll need to work on a journal topper. So think about, give me some suggestions in this video, ideas for the journal topper. I mean, I could do like my little vintagey Santa that I did for the Rach and Bella collaboration. I could make another one of these. That could maybe be cute. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, I will have to think about that, and I really hope y'all give me some suggestions on what to do for the journal topper. But I love how this has turned out. So cute. Yeah, we'll add some lace or rickrack or lace here, and a pocket maybe. Yeah, I'm excited. And yeah, I think we'll add like a pocket back here as well. All right, thank you all so much for watching, and make sure to come back, and I'll be working on my spine dangle. I have lots of fun charms and beads and little holiday wishes, little snowman, all kinds of fun things. So I will see you all in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to like and comment. All right, bye. Have a good day.